Central Park is all but abandoned. What once was teeming with families, couples, and street vendors is now eerily quiet. Monstrous black clouds roll over the island, tinged with red, like a storm in the depths of hell. This close to the well, there is nothing to take our attention from the hungry vortex swirling just off the island's edge. Cold silence is punctuated by irregular crashes of lightning and thunder. Gardner, Nellie, and the rest of the underground arrive just before Annie is brought out by her own people. Though she is not restrained, the firebrand's flame has now been quenched, her eyes downcast.
Forsaken. We have been forsaken. All is lost.
Nellie is wringing her hands. She looks at me with pleading eyes. I get the message. We need to move while we still have time. Enough gawking, people. We have work to do. Aided by several of the underground, the truck carrying Daisy is guided to its ideal spot. Nellie busies herself ensuring that every connection and weld is sound, with an unusually antsy Gardner looking on.
E2 to D6, A7 to... There. Now the other side. Can you believe it's really happening? I spent ages planning and designing and building, but it never felt so real until now.
Feels like it's been years since we met, huh? A wet behind the ears kid full of crazy talk. Tonight's your big night, Nellie.
So sorry that it ended up this way, Pastor Annie. But you're not the only one who lost something precious today. I'm not any happier to be here than you are.
I'm not one of your revolutionaries, Mr. Diamond. I am here as I was bidden, no less, no more.
I can see that losing your people's faith hasn't cut yours down to size. Fine. You don't want to be friends? I don't either. But we're both fighting for our people's survival. We can help each other.
Apollo produces a burlap bundle and unties it, revealing Annie's axe. He offers it to her casually. Annie reaches out and takes hold. Her mouth is twisted in a scowl. She's controlling her instinct to lash out.
I agree to lend my aid to your enterprise.
Apollo.
The old man would have chosen to see her good intentions. I'm trying things his way.
Final checks are complete. Daisy, Alistair, and I are ready to go. Just let me know when you're ready to proceed.
Apollo is burning so much energy pacing back and forth, I could wire him to a generator and power 1,000 light bulbs. I stifle a sudden mad urge to laugh. The moment passes. The second he swipes his sleeve at his eyes. It isn't in Apollo's makeup to look worn in front of the troops, but I can tell he's hurting. Hiya, Hollywood. Got a slick escape plan if things go sideways?
We have a budding mad scientist and her equally mad teacher working for our side. How could it go wrong?
Pretty confident words there, pal. All joking aside, what if...
What if it fizzles out? Our little geniuses will cook up something new, no doubt. Don't fret, darling. You'll see. Today, or tomorrow, we'll come up with that fourth ace we need. The heroes always win in the final act.
You're incorrigible.
At your service.
Annie really puts it all into her fire and brimstone sermons. Think she would play well in the pictures?
Honestly, she's got some charisma, but not the kind that translates well to the silver screen. She's someone who could, and did, lead people to a bad end. Who knows? Maybe she'll gain some perspective now.
Perspective?
Sometimes we have to suffer a loss to understand what was in front of us all along. Sam died to bring her into our little plot, Gia. I don't think I'll ever forgive myself for that. I can only hope she makes something good out of all this tragedy, but it's difficult. She reminds me of myself, but without the old man to keep me in check, you know?
Annie stands in the distance, looking up into the well as if she's never really seen it. Her face is a blank mask now. I can't fathom what must be going on in her head.
She'll pull through, or she won't, darling. Like all of us.
Hey, I'm no mind reader. Penny for your thoughts?
Keep your penny. How do you think I feel? I feel hollowed out, beaten, broken, tired. I miss the old man. He should be here instead of me.
It's hard to believe he's gone.
Sometimes he made me so mad I wanted to hit him. Sometimes I wanted to walk out on the whole thing because I felt like he was too weak, too cowardly for what we were trying to do. Now that he's gone, maybe I'm the one who's the coward, afraid to keep going without him. He was a rock. He took everything life threw at him, and he was still there, still working, still there to listen, to care.
Apollo looks out over the horizon and rubs the back of his neck.
I'll miss my friend. I don't think I'll ever stop.
I should get back. Thanks for the talk, Apollo. Annie, do you think our plan has a little more merit now? Annie turns to face me. She looks at me like I'm something she scraped off the sole of her shoe. After a few uncomfortable seconds, her disgust softens to careful disinterest.
Does it really matter what I think? I pledged my service. Now you want my blessing? Haven't you taken enough from me?
So it's come to this. You're a prisoner of your own people. Maybe you should have sided with us to begin with instead of dealing with whatever comes next. Will your people show you mercy?
I will be taken before whichever betrayers end up in charge to face judgment for, as they will no doubt put it, presuming to know the mind of God. I will not ask for mercy or understanding. What will be, will be.
Bleak.
Realistic. I did what I had to do. Not that they see it that way. Justice is rarely kind.
That barb isn't lost on me. I should watch my step if she finds her way back up to the top. I've wondered for a while, and I may not get the chance to ask later. What's with the axe?
Is this really the time and place?
Frankly, I'd love to think about something else for a few minutes while the machine's being tested. So, let's hear it. Annie raises her axe with one hand. She inspects the edge critically, looking it over for nicks. The handle is smooth and worn. It's been treated with oil and handled over and over again, like an infielder's favorite mitt. When she finally speaks again, her voice is low and husky with memory. Her eyes never leave the axe.
My parents met their end at the bottom of a bottle. When I took charge of Nation's Crusade, I personally led my people to destroy dens of iniquity throughout the barony. Never again, I told myself, would I allow the easy escape of vice to lead families to ruin. Corruption had to be torn and cut, root and branch. Axes are very good for cutting diseased roots.
There's some irony there, Annie.
One might ask if I'm the right person to hold this tool of justice. One way or another, I will be judged, but I won't be the only one.
Goodbye, Annie. She turns her gaze from me as if I were never there. I wanted to know what's on her mind, but all I learned for sure is that I'm not allowed in. As Nellie hovers around making adjustments, Gardner supervises from a respectful distance. Every so often, he consults a pocket notebook, usually nodding to himself afterward. Gardner?
Miss Randazzo?
How's your protege holding up? Pressure's on.
I wouldn't be concerned. Look at her. She's in her element, creating an impossible solution to an impossible problem.
You must be very proud.
She's grown so much from that young girl I first met in the uppers. I admit, part of me still wishes it hadn't involved dodging bullets and getting mixed up with nefarious types.
I hope we nefarious types haven't rubbed off on her too much. I'm sure she'll be glad to get back to her research once we're done here. Gardner gives a thin smile in response. Maybe I'd better change the subject. That Annie fought like a lion. I wasn't sure we'd be able to get the amplifier, not up until the end.
I'm sure you don't need my insights in dealing with that one. Just look at her.
Gardner and I watch Annie for a few seconds. Her knuckles are white as polished bone as she clutches the handle of her axe.
I'm well past the age of dealing with such unstable factors. But even I could tell you she's been holding the end of the rope for a long time.
I hope she can hold it together a while longer. She could do a lot of damage if she puts her mind to it, even now.
Quite.
What do you think? Are we ready to go?
As soon as Eleanor has finished double and triple checking her readings, yes. When her conscientious nature allows it, I will be ready.
You almost sound confident.
Aether is my life's work. The very moment she proposed her Aether diffusion device, I knew what I had to do.
Best of luck. Nellie is running back and forth with the frantic energy of a twitchy church mouse. I wait and watch as she makes the same checks over and over, 4, 5, 6 times. Can't question the girl's thoroughness. Hey, kid. How's tricks? Nellie's totally absorbed in her science project. I'll have to pry a little harder if I want any kind of real response from her right now. How's it looking, Nellie? Is your thingamajig ready for its big moment?
Oh, Gia. Yes, I think so. I'm just performing a few final checks.
You've checked several times already. I've watched. Is another look really necessary?
I don't know. Maybe? But you know what they say, better over-prepared than under. And this time, we really can't afford to be anything less than ready.
What if it doesn't work?
If this doesn't work out as planned, I believe we're in a fine position to gather data for a second attempt that will. The machinery here includes recording devices for measuring frequency modulation, amperage, the works. There may even be a device measuring the nervousness of Italian-blooded smugglers.
Nellie, did you just make a joke?
Forgive me, Gia. I'm as nervous as... I don't know. It's uncharted territory, to be sure. But Alistair and I have been over every inch of Daisy. It has to work. It just has to.
You look a little peaked. Are you sure you're all right?
I'm scared, but this is so exhilarating. It's the culmination of everything we've been working for. It's the end of a long road of betrayal, death, and pain. I'm ready. I hope you are too.
Good answer. Let's light this firecracker and put this whole thing to bed. Is this thing ready or what?
We're all set. Stand back. We're powering on. Now.
All right, Nellie. Hit it. Nellie mans the main panel, while Gardner flits back and forth at the gauges. The two of them dance in perfect rhythm around the machine, to a tune none of us could possibly hear. Readings barked aloud with a perceptible tempo.
Green across the board. All systems are nominal.
Excellent. Beginning transmission sequence in 3, 2...
Nellie takes a deep breath, then pulls a large lever with both hands. The machine thrums loudly, faster and harder. Arcs of purple aether crackle above Daisy, whipping up a vicious wind. I shield my eyes, looking around at my comrades in arms.
Sequence initiated.
Is it working?
Energy is linked. Gravitational flux is stabilizing.
Yes! It's working!
Hold. Graviton production is rising. Something's wrong.
Shut it down!
No, wait! It may stabilize. Give it more power.
No! Shut it down! It's expanding too quickly!
Debris, cars, trees, rubble, all go to feed the insatiable, unstoppable hunger of the well. Someone is screaming at the hideous sight, and I realize it's me. My throat is raw, torn from cries of grief.
No! It's impossible! I was so careful!
Shake a leg, people. We need to get out of here. Move, move, move!
I'm aware of people running, tripping, screaming, crying as they run breathlessly to the vehicles. But I can't move a muscle. The next thing I know, Nellie is at my side, her hand on my shoulder.
Gia, I don't know what went wrong. It should have worked. Do you hear me? It should have worked.
I don't want to see what happens next. I don't want to think about all we've done, all we've sacrificed, everything we've survived, just for it to blow up in our faces. We haven't saved anyone today. We've killed them.
What did you do?
I don't know. Everything checked out. You have to believe me. I swear all of the levels were correct. Professor Gardner and I triple-checked everything.
Looks to me like we haven't done much good. It looks to me like we made things a hell of a lot worse. Like maybe we should have left well enough alone.
Spittle flies from my mouth. I'm shouting and I don't know why. I just need to let it out and Nellie is there, and before I know it, I have her by the shoulders.
What happened? What on earth happened? Why didn't it work?
Nothing. It was all going as planned, and then...
And then what? You forgot a part? You pressed the wrong button? What happened?
I don't know.
I believed in this. Hook, line, and sinker. It's my fault too. I should have known.
You...
Tears spring forth from Nellie's eyes and she rounds on me angrily. Distantly, I know that what we are doing to one another is wrong. But the storm blustering nearby is nothing compared to the rasping of my lungs.
If you think I'm going to stand here and be lectured to by a self-confessed murderer, 8-Shot, you're very much mistaken. Or did you forget that nickname of yours? Why not ask Needles about how you never make mistakes? Or Mr. Blanc? Why not ask Sam? Oh, right! Because they're just another stepping stone for gunslinging, wisecracking Gia Randazzo.
Eleanor, we have to go. We're out of time.
I numbly watch as Gardner and Nellie brush past me, the fatherly mentor guiding his sobbing charge to the truck that carries their precious, worthless device. The engine rumbles to life, and they begin their retreat. As the last of the wind from the device dies down, I look around and see that I am alone, except for one other soul nearby, on her knees before the terrible supremacy of the well's hunger. Annie's face is unreadable. Maybe she can't comprehend how much of this is her fault, how she played games with her people's lives. Not that I'm any better. Annie turns slowly. Her eyes are glassy, her pupils huge. I am figuring out what to say next when her face contorts into a mask of pure rage. She leaps to her feet and rushes at me with her axe in hand.
This is your fault!
It's more instinct than training that has me diving to one side. Annie's strike misses completely, and the axe head buries deep in the soft park lawn. What are you, nuts? I scramble into my car, hurriedly working the ignition while Annie screams just outside. In my rearview mirror, I see her hurling herself into her own vehicle. She'll be on me in no time. I sneak a peek in my rearview. Annie's all over the road, face twisted, mouthing Old Testament curses. That tank looks hard to handle. Her repulsors are screaming in protest with every turn, punched through with bursts of gunfire. I swear I see the tank almost tip over, leaning on a single stabilizer as she wrenches herself back onto my tail.
The Lord will protect us. The darkness will not overcome us.
There's a sickening sound of impact, and then silence. Annie's not in my rear view anymore. I pull over, heart racing in my chest like a champion thoroughbred. A rising torrent of smoke is billowing into the air. Annie plows her tank into the front of a church. As I watch, the far half of the building disappears in an enormous fireball, the ammo in Annie's tank igniting. Bits of twisted metal and glass rain down over the pavement. I can't tell if Annie's alive or dead. I'm about to leave the scene, but there could be innocent people in that church. Damn it. I need to have a look. Who knows if or when a pump truck would even get here. Annie's vehicle is a twisted hunk of metal. It should have been a death trap. I'm amazed it's not. Must have been her ammo that went up in a fireball you could see from a mile off. The church's face has been smashed open by the impact of the crash and explosion. Thank heaven for small miracles. It looks like there weren't any churchgoers inside. I have to stop and rub my eyes. Surely it's impossible that anyone survived this catastrophe. And yet, Annie stands at the front of the ruined church. A little singed, but in one piece. More or less. You're still alive. That's great. How about I just sit down here for a minute? You can come cut my head off with your precious axe. Clearly you can't die, so what's the point in fighting? Every inch of fight in me has been spent. I lean against my car. The metal is hot from the engine, but I don't care. I wish I had a cigarette. Then I remember that I quit. Annie shuffles over toward me. Despite my earlier look at her, she's hurt. Probably whiplash. Maybe just coming down from the shock of it. She uses her axe as a cane, then sits on the sidewalk in front of the church, head down.
It all seemed so clear. What I should do. What I did. To guide a lost flock, sometimes you must convince the sheep that there are no wolves. I misled them. But for their own good.
What the hell are you talking about?
Was I so wrong to do divine work? Did I presume too much? How did I fail? I was to be the guardian of my flock. Or was that the sin of pride?
Seems to me that maybe you're alive for a reason. Maybe instead of sitting here on the back of your lap moaning, you should get up and get on your way. Go do something. Why'd you do it? Why did you lie to your own people? Did you think God wanted you to take that red Aether? The woman recoils, seeing in me her every fear and shame reflected back at her.
I can't remember. The people came to me when the previous Baron fled. They sought protection from the evils of the world, but it was too much. I risked everything falling apart.
You got desperate. The trust reached out and you took whatever deal they offered.
They told me they believed in what I was doing. They said it was a miracle. That I could make a miracle. They would help me make my people believe. All I had to do was believe in myself.
Who were they, Annie? What made you so sure you could believe them?
They said they were a society. Very old, very powerful benefactors. That they'd deliver the city into the future. Was this the future they meant?
A lot of your people are still alive. You need to get them out of Nation's Crusade before the well swallows everything. Go save them, even if they don't believe anymore.
I did everything right. I protected them. I saved them. And all I did was bring ruin. I am bound for hell for what I've done here.
It's the moment a raging star goes supernova. Billions of years lighting the heavens and suddenly realizing that its fire wasn't going to reach eternity's end. No big speeches, Annie. Not even for your guilt. If you ever truly cared for your people, then show them now. You can still get some of them out.
Huh. You, of all people, to give me counsel. God help us, we're going to need it.
A few minutes later, Annie flags down a Nation's Crusade truck. Before she leaves the scene, I can hear her voice ringing out, directing the evacuation. More of her people will survive this day, thanks to her. A familiar vehicle pulls up to a stop in front of me.
Gia, glad you're okay. We're covering the evacuation. You need to find Nellie. The well is out of control.
I'm not sure Nellie will listen to what I have to say.
Damn it. We need to get her back or it's all about to come tumbling down. You're a professional, aren't you? Never leave a job half done.
The underground car wheels around and into the distance, no doubt looking for more refugees. He's right. I need to finish the job. I don't know what to say when I find Nellie, but at least I know where to look. If I know her, she's on her way back to the hold to figure out what went wrong. That means I'll find her at the lab. I stagger into my car, weary down to my very bones, and speed off, hoping for a miracle. I'm a shade standing at the end of the world. While the ferry completes its final drop-offs, visions of islands caving in on themselves play through my mind's eye like a film reel on loop. I distract myself, wandering the walls and cabins in search of the girl who tore the barony apart. Instead, I find Benny, sitting on the catwalk, shoes dangling over the abyss. He nearly bonks his head on the railing when I walk up.
Jiminy crickets, lady. Anyone ever tell you not to sneak up on a fella in thought?
Have you seen Nellie or Gardner?
Nah, not since the whole Nation's Crusade fiasco.
I swallow down a lump of scalding disappointment and make to continue the search.
Hey, Gia, can we talk? Off the record. I need to consult with somebody about this story.
Benny's fidgeting with his fingers like a lightning bolt in search of an Aether rod. For once, the smartass who pretended to be years older looks his proper age. I take a seat beside him. He shuffles, leaving room for my feet to dangle over the gloom with his.
So, this story. The Underground hired me to be their bullhorn. I get my scoop, the people get the truth, the Underground gets PR. Not a bad deal. The towers, that frocked fraud, a secret dance hall, kid stuff. Everything after? It's important, but I don't know how to write about it. There's no bread big enough to sandwich it.
It's written across Benny's face as cleanly as one of his articles. The Civil War, Sam's final sacrifice, Nation's Crusade crumbling. It'd be a lot for anyone, let alone a kid. I ruffle my hand through his hair. Though he lets out a token whine, he doesn't pull away. We sit there a minute, us and our thoughts. Look, Benny, sometimes there's no silver lining.
Yeah, we won a war and toppled a baron. but even that don't feel good. Why'd you talk Annie into staying, anyway?
We took away Annie's power, but that doesn't mean everyone stopped believing in her. If we wanted to get everyone out, using her was our best shot.
Yeah? And what if she starts brainwashing another army?
Then it's a problem for another day. Benny nods along, doubtlessly jotting my answer in some cluttered corner of that busy head.
About what happened. I thought Nellie had it.
Not now. All I want to do is find Nellie and figure out how we're fixing this. The ferry lands, rocking our legs. I help Benny up and we head to the pier. I scan the remaining off-boarding faces. My heart sinks when a certain blonde's not one of them. Mr. Throg, seen Nellie around?
No, ma'am. Not since she and Mr. Gardner went to Nation's Crusade.
She could still be okay, right? It was a madhouse at the end. The Underground was herding people onto every available ship. Maybe she caught another ride?
Maybe. I'll check the lab. Let me know if you hear anything. Where's Cress? Is she holed up somewhere else? I know something's wrong the moment I walk through the door. Nellie's little lab away from home usually smells of Bunsen burner coffee, ozone, and chalk. Neither that or the scientist are there to greet me. The lab hasn't been empty for long, but it already feels like a checked out room. Another link in the chain of things Nellie's run out on. The half-full jar of sweets is unguarded. My stomach churns without appetite. Maybe I should have let Nellie and Gardner sail away on that ferry back to the Heights. At least this would have been Olympus Park's mess to clean up. Nellie's chalkboard is crammed to the edges with physics equations and calculations and all sorts of mathematical junk I can't begin to parse. Not even fresh brewed coffee's enough to cut through the scent of decades-old mulch. All this time spent trying to build something to save the lowers, just to have it torpedo us. I cross the lab off my list of hiding spots and, reluctantly, cross off the hole, too. If Nellie was anywhere on this island, she'd be here. Damn it. What the hell am I going to do? Mr. Blanc might have been the best, but he's not the only stem on the grapevine. Tiana's got a fleet of fences on call, the Underground's got their network, and Needles usually has an ear out on smuggler routes. A memory cuts my train of thought down to the quick.
I believed in this, hook, line, and sinker. It's my fault too. I should have known.
Why not ask Needles about how you never make mistakes? Or Mr. Blanc? Why not ask Sam? Oh, right! Because they're just another stepping stone for gunslinging, wisecracking Gia Rondazzo. You're pathetic.
The trail's not cold yet. The Underground's running evacuations. If anyone knows where Nellie and Gardner could have gone, it's them. Nellie, you run off half-cocked and you're going to wind up vaporized. I can't let you do this when we're so close with Annie. I got her to Annie, and look what happened. Who said I need to chase the kid down? Nellie always comes back eventually. Unless... could Nellie have run back to the Heights? My gut says no, but doubts it's the...
People like us don't change the world, Rondazzo. We survive it. Be a shame you had to die because you didn't learn when to walk.
I'm ramming into walls. Every thought crashes into a bitter reminder, making me ache dearly for a taste of tobacco and a week-long sleep. I haven't felt this way since Valentine, and I have even less time to feel sorry for myself. I need to clear my head. Like Zio used to tell me, we do what we can, and when we can't anymore, we win, Skip. Mr. Throg, I need a ride.
There's a storm, Miss Randazzo. Already told Mr. Mozzie. Ferry's closed until there's a lull.
Not looking to go far. I want to head to White Street. Edge of the barony. Won't be long. The old man looks at me, concern trickling into those aged, seasoned eyes like water drops over granite.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I'll risk it.
All aboard, but no detours.
Mr. Throg takes us the long way around, bypassing the Whitecaps' civil war and the gravity storm. I walk the rest of the way. A cool breeze carries me back to that day we found Chimera. I told Nellie she couldn't carry the world on her shoulders. You don't survive by stopping for every sob story. When did I forget that? Nellie said she thought the well would be beautiful. Hard to appreciate the hurricane when it's barreling at you from your doorstep. I'm a smuggler, not a swashbuckling comic hero. I stuck around over a missing briefcase, and what did it get me? My car gone, my rep slapped with a Baron Killer label, an assassin gunning for my head, and another job gone to hell. Fixing the well, saving the lowers, that's above my pay grade. I've done my dues with the Underground. Nothing's stopping me from cashing out. Apollo can get someone else to find the kid. I should have learned from Valentine. Letting the job get personal gets you hurt. Even Zio knew that. For a moment, I smell his cologne. The hard back of the chair in Valentine's waiting room jabs into my back while Zio lectures me. Maybe I would have listened more carefully if I'd known it'd be my last talking to.
Needles knew what he signed up for. In our line of work, doing the job comes first. Failing that, choose yourself. Always have another way out, Giovanna.
Oh, Matana, I wish I could talk to him. What would he say if I'd spun him a yarn about a bird from the heights, the well, and my dilemma?
She's a nice girl. I can see why you've entertained her so far. But as a professional, you should have cut her loose long ago. Don't lose your head acting like one of your comic book heroes.
Sounds straightforward enough. As I form the words, though, they curdle in my mouth like wine turned vinegar. I try a different question. Okay, Zio, but that's for clients. What would you do if I was the kid in over her head? Would you take on the well for me?
For you? Well, obviously that's different. Your family.
I blink back a sudden flash from an old wound. Zio Alfonso had said something similar when he decided to handle Valentine. Would he have volunteered if he'd known it'd get him killed? The Lowers had enough tragic heroes, and Sam won't be the last. Was Nellie worth risking my neck any further? I heft a stone. Skips are even, I get back to work. Skips are odd. I hand in my notice and get as far away as my savings will get me. I let the stone and my fate fly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My stomach immediately curls inward. I peer over the edge, watching the stone tumble into the red-hued clouds. That should have settled it. The job's long past its date, but something keeps me anchored. A vision of a girl standing on a taxi platform, with a heart big enough to light the world, and make me believe it. Damn it. Who am I kidding? I couldn't leave Needles for a crate of cargo. I sure as hell can't leave Nellie to face the well on her own. If I can patch things up with Piotr, I can patch things up with Nellie. I close my eyes and breathe. For the first time since Central Park, my head's as calm as a blue sky. Better get back to the Underground and figure out our next move. How soon before the well starts tearing apart the rest of the Lowers?
Gotcha.
My only warning is a voice that'd have death itself uttering prayers. Tobias Dufresne, a man twice dead, stands at my back, pressing his gun into the back of my head. How?
It wasn't the first island I've been thrown off of. Shame you didn't try a bullet to the head.
I'm a breathing corpse, trapped between my personal revenant and the edge of an island. A choice between a gunshot and 10 seconds of sky under the eye of a raging red vortex. Dufresne, listen to me. We've got bigger problems than your contract. The well destroyed Nation's Crusade. Unless I find Nellie, it'll take out the rest of the lowers too.
Not to worry. That's no longer your problem. Best make peace with yourself. I'll give you a minute. As a professional courtesy.
The shadow closes in, ready to usher me onto the final ferry, but I grit my teeth in defiance. I'm not about to let some scarred-up black hat punch my ticket. Seconds ticking, I look for my way out. Every pulse from the well's another second off my life. A few pieces of scrap and rubble. Neither make good bludgeons. I take stock of my options. They're not good. I've got myself, my revolver, and a pocket full of skipping stones. But if it's a choice between a slim chance of survival and a hole in the head, I'll roll the dice any day. Luckily, Dufresne's still playing with his food. If I get my gun, I've got a chance. There's only one thing holding back the torrent of cold sweat. Dufresne could have blown my head off, and I'd be at St. Peter's gates without knowing why. The last time we stood like this, Dufresne was angling for a chat. If he hasn't shot me yet, maybe there's something he wants more than another notch on his dash.
Time's up. Any last words?
His iron presses against me like a set of razor-sharp claws around my throat. Whether I live or die, I know who I am, and what my final gambit has to be. I've got more than that. I got a request. Our game on Coney Island. You never answered my final question. What's your deal, Dufresne? For the briefest second, there's nothing but the press of the barrel. Slowly, it drags across my skin, as pensive as a steely claw.
That game's over, Randazzo. Can't take your hand back once the deck's been reshuffled.
Then let's play a new one. I figure out your answer, you let me walk. You can try to kill me another day.
Gutsy, aren't you? Now, what makes you so sure I'll grant that?
You're a tracker, right? You dragged yourself up the edge of an island to hunt me down. Never struck me as the type to leave things unfinished. The wind howls around us, drowning out the pounding of my heart and any sound that might give away what's going on through Dufresne's head.
You got 3 questions. Use them wisely. If I decide you're wasting our time, I'll be cutting things short.
The pressure releases, but only slightly. In lieu of the gun, I feel the weight of every possible question I could ask to deduce Dufresne's motives. One sticks out to me like a marked card. You didn't hesitate to pull the trigger back in Nation's Crusade. So what stopped you this time?
Already got the drop on you. Got nothing to lose letting you breathe a few breaths longer.
Pretty considerate for someone who said he couldn't afford wings.
A moment of consideration isn't enough to change where either of us is headed.
An unusual note catches my ear like a hiss hiding in the bush. Was that a hint of defensiveness? The trust helped you, right? That's why you're so loyal? The shadow goes still long enough I could forget he was there, if it wasn't for the unwavering touch of cold iron.
Nothing so personal. We have an ongoing agreement. And no matter the client, I always follow through.
That it? You went off an island for someone you don't even like?
You're getting awfully nosy. If you're so curious, we could find you some rope. Save the bullet for after. 2 questions down. Cutting it awful close, smuggler. How's that bravado of yours faring?
Shut it. I still got one more question. I've seen both sides of his coin. A professional monster from across the barrel. A man bearing a part of his soul. Which one holds the answer to Tobias Dufresne? You went out of your way to meet me at Coney Island. You do that for all your business rivals? My question's a grazing shot. His silence bleeds through the air like a slow, trickling wound.
No. Been a long while since someone stuck around long enough to make an impression.
I risk turning my head and come face to face with something more unnerving than the man's survival. Uncertainty. Dufresne's brow creases, as though as troubled by his actions as I am. It hits me. You got attached.
You've no idea what you're talking about, smuggler.
Then explain it to me. If you got doubts about me, I wonder what else you got doubts about.
You're getting awfully sure of yourself. Prepared to risk your life over it.
Yeah, I am. You said it yourself. Not many people you meet stick around this long. Prepared to make it one person less. The world holds its breath. The wind goes quiet, and the clouds feel as opaque as the Black Hat's face. I'm just as still, breathless, until his iron snaps back into his holster.
That tragedy in Nation's Crusade was always meant to happen. Next time, it'll be worse.
What do you mean, always? What the hell's going to happen? He answers me with papers produced from his coat.
You're sharp. You'll figure it. If you don't, I suspect you'll be dead either way.
Hang on a sec. You came all the way here to kill me, but now you're helping me? Behind the black hat and scars, for the length of a bell, I see a glimpse of a man that might have existed before he was left to die on the Underline.
You paid my last fare. This makes us even.
Dufresne steps away, leaving me and his contract behind. He leaves me with a mysterious stack of papers and the rumbling well. It's only a few sheets, but I'm sure whatever's in it, Mr. Blanc would have traded half his collection for it. I start reading. My eyes immediately leap to a file on Olympus Park, the tragedy that started this all. Tucked along orders are instructions, schedules, entry and exit points, even routes to plant the explosives. Destroy all evidence around the well and its expansion. If you are unable to retrieve Dr. Reinhardt's research, destroy it as well. Certainty forms in my mind as firmly as a boulder. This was an inside job. The orders signed with a sigil. Familiarity catches on my mind's eye like barbed wire, and before I realize it, I'm digging through my coat for the rubbing I found in Mr. Blanc's office. Side by side, it's unmistakable. The sigil on Dufresne's orders is an offshoot of the Trust's. Mr. Blanc had called the rubbing an identifier. Whoever's sigil this is, they must be someone in the inner circle. One order stamped with a bright red stripe. I might not know what codes the Trust uses, but I've seen enough secret smuggler messages to recognize when it's urgent. Suspend all activities related to Dr. Reinhardt. As you've shown repeatedly, retrieving a young runaway girl is outside your area of expertise. Another approach is required. Remain on standby until instructed otherwise. Though I'll never regret keeping Nellie out of Dufresne's hands, I feel a sympathetic twinge. Dufresne was called off between Ellis Island and Coney. What changed between then? My number comes up. Cold dread seeps into my bones like a soul narrowly avoiding the executioner's axe. Randazzo's made herself a nuisance. Get rid of her before the Aether diffuser is activated. Afterward, immediately vacate the lowers. New instructions to follow upon my return. The chill becomes biting. Dufresne's orders don't explain why I had to die, or how they knew Daisy was going to fail. But when did the Trust learn Nellie's device was an Aether diffuser? In the Private Mania comics, the panels always go as bright as light bulbs when the detective solves the mystery. All I feel is a blistering itch that burns like a hand held over an open fire. Dufresne's employer is the inside person. They didn't just know about Nellie's research. They knew how to get Dufresne into the Heights without getting him caught. They were someone with a hand on the pulse of everyone involved in this job. Dufresne, Nellie, and me. They knew what we were doing, and that Daisy was doomed to fail. And they didn't just have an altered copy of the Trust's sigil. They had a signet ring I now recognized from long before I opened Mr. Blanc's safe. Gardner. I need to get back, now. My feet pound the plank. I all but leap off the ferry, accelerating into a full sprint, when Apollo darts out in front of me.
Gia! What's got you running like a bat out of hell?
Something big. Get everyone together. If we don't do something fast, what happened to Nation's Crusade's going to happen to the rest of the lowers. The matinee star's face slides into an expression pained by fresh memories of ash and ozone.
Once more into the fray, or so they say. See you there.
Everyone trickles in. Cress with her squared shoulders, Sophie with her hardened eyes, Luca with his big hands tightly laced together, and Benny with a bouncing leg that won't quit. I rip off the bandage. There's an occasional outburst and question, surprisingly moderated by Apollo, but everything comes out. By the time I'm done, the room's a steaming kettle of shock, fury, and betrayal.
Well, that just tears it, doesn't it? We knew the Trust had its people everywhere. Never expected one to be squatting in our bar.
Gonna be hard to squat anywhere with a pair of broken kneecaps.
Now, as tempting as it might be to find the professor a nice, unoccupied underline, it bears asking. Giovanna, how certain are you about Dufresne's intel?
What do you mean by that? This is physical evidence, straight from the baddies. Unless that's what he wants us to believe. He did that before, didn't he? Planted evidence to lure you into a trap.
Exactly. Evidence from a man who, until this point, had a bullet just for you. That alone's worth popping open the horse's mouth for a peek.
Gardner's been hanging around longer than even some of you. Who knows what he's gotten up to? Paranoia's making a chew toy of my nerves, and I'm not the only one. Eyes dart around, frowns slide over faces, picking apart our every interaction with Gardner.
Think back to your little rendezvous with Mr. Blanc. Rather a coincidence the Trust was prepared for you so quickly, don't you think?
Maybe, but we weren't the only ones who knew about the meet. While we were prepping to visit Mr. Blanc, Nellie was bouncing off to tell Gardner of the Aether core. Poor kid would have had no idea what else she was letting slip to her beloved mentor. We know the Trust wants to sink the lowers. Looking at Gardner, I still don't get why.
Yeah, I don't get it either. He's no mustache twirler, but he don't act like someone looking for money or revenge.
You think we can trust anything about him? If you do, I got a bridge to sell you.
Aw, keep your bridge to yourself. It's just, he's Nellie's mentor, yeah? She adores the guy, but he blew up her lab and let her use her device knowing it'd crack up. What kind of sickle do you gotta be to do that?
Benny's point sticks out like a rusted nail in a polished antique. All those days working in the lab, all those chats in the root cellar. Were they all part of a long con? Or something worse? I don't know, Junior. We can shake it out of him later. After we catch him.
Damn right. If that bastard's a part of it, I don't need to hear his sob story. We stop him.
Mr. Blanc said the Trust is everywhere. They're power brokers with access to red Aether. The same thing that Gardner's supposed to be an expert on.
Not quite as neat as an open and shut piece of evidence, but it'll have to do. I'm sure we can get something more solid out of the old dear's own mouth.
Oh, yes, very fascinating. Now leave the whys and the hows to the biographers. We got a well out of control, a scientist MIA, and a villain setting her and us for a fall. Gia, tell me you're closer to finding her.
The trip to White Street had been enough to clear the blockers from my mind. There's only one road I could see Nellie taking. Nellie came to the lowers to fix the well. It's why she stuck around even after Gardner showed up. She seemed like the type to give up.
You think she ran off to try and fix it by herself?
Wouldn't be the first time. Without Annie's towers, she'll have to go to the source. And if Daisy can destroy a barony from outside the well, think of what it can do from the inside. The implications sweep across the room like a gale. To find Nellie, we have to go into the well. Apollo recovers first, clapping his hands as though to disperse the gloom.
Right. I suppose this would be the part where the old man says, think before you leap, eh? He's not here anyway, so I suppose that falls to me. Anyone want out? Now's your chance. Choose wisely.
I feel the world rock beneath me, like I'm standing on the step to a ferry to who knows where. Once I get on, there's no getting off. Said it before, remember? We're in this to the end, Hollywood.
You know me. I'll be there. Besides, someone needs to keep the rest of you flying.
Well said. As for me, I've never been very good at quitting.
If the well goes off, I can't afford to lose. Diane, everyone, they're waiting for me.
What kind of reporter would I be if I sat out of the action?
Standing among these oddballs, I'm surprised how natural it felt. It reminded me what it was like to have a reliable crew.
That's the spirit. Do what you need to do, then meet me at the Ruth Cellar. Drinks are on me.
There's a crook in her neck as Cress hunches over the table, leaning heavily on her metal arm. A piece of paper cowers before her glowering eyes. Who are you writing to? Unless you've taken up doodling.
Home. My folks haven't heard from me in a while. Figured they want to know what happened to Annie. And about the well. About Sam.
Cress looks up. Her eyes are dry now, but small, wrinkled watermarks mingle with crossed-out lines on her page, showing that a few tears had managed to spring free.
I don't know what to say, really. What if Nellie can't fix things? Do I tell them to leave the city? They'll get the terriers sent after them. Do I tell them to stay?
She's a metronome, swinging back and forth, never resting on any answer or word. The pendulum only skips a beat when Benny comes over, summoned by the smell of paper and ink.
Oh wow, Cress. I didn't know you were a writer. What are you writing? Can I read it? Do you need any help?
The kid sticks his nose over Cress's shoulder. He's had a rough few days, but he has to give others their space. I'll have to intervene before he starts meowing and crawling into her lap. Come on, Benny. Let's leave Cress to write her letter.
I can help, though.
I'm sure you can, but not right now.
Thanks, Benny, but I just need to work on this. Maybe next time. How about, you help me with some pamphlets for the underground later?
He hangs his ears like he's been sprayed with water as I walk him away from the table.
Sure.
The root cellar's half bar, half war room. Someone set up a map of the lowers on a table, while Thomas fills a row of glasses from a bottle expensive enough to be encrusted with gems. What's the occasion?
Good luck charm. Paid for by your friend here. You only live once, sweetheart. Might as well enjoy the finer things while we're still around to do it. And I can certainly afford to share.
Yeah? Then how come mine's so small?
Gotta learn to hold a wrench right before you can touch an engine.
Oh, I see how it is. So's to drink with the rest of you, I need to show I can hold my liquor.
Save mine for later. I want a straight head for this.
Everyone settled? Excellent. Gia, take us away. Where are we heading?
After the well tore apart Nation's Crusade, the map might as well be scribbled over. Fortunately, our starting point hasn't changed. I draw grids along Central Park. The road's torn up. Nellie can't have gone far. If we want any chance of finding her before she uses Daisy again, we'll need to split up.
A search and rescue formation, eh? Suppose we should rustle up some ordnance. If God knows who we think he is, no doubt he's got more than one attack dog.
So we enter the well, avoid any nasty surprises, and get to Nellie. And after that?
First, we stop her using Daisy before it blows up the well. Then, we get her away from Gardner.
She might put up a fight. After all, you're about to tell her everything she knows is a lie. And the man she loves like a father is a monster.
Nellie's tougher than she looks. If we don't tell her the truth, she's going to make the biggest mistake of her life.
We all got our regrets. Doesn't mean she ought to pay someone else's blood-stained tab.
Glasses emptied, nerves briefly calmed. The room turns to me, looking for one last word to carry with them into the night. Can't say I haven't thought about cashing out and catching the next ferry out of here.
Oh, Gia, darling. Don't tell me you're getting cold feet now.
I'm still here, aren't I? I couldn't even sleep if I left now anyway. And if I'm sticking around, I feel better knowing it's with this group.
Save the sappy speeches for after we win.
After that, all that's left is to grab our gear, catch the ferry, and find our friend before it's too late. The Well's apocalyptic force has made a hellscape of Nation's Crusade, ripping buildings and roads apart in great dark gouts of brick dust and smoke. There's a low, constant roar of tearing concrete. A venomous little voice in my head eagerly points out how the well has devastated everything closest to it. But I shut out the noise, both within and without. I tell myself there's still time. There's still time. Come on, Nellie. Where are you? I scan the whirling mass of flying wreckage, searching for safe paths into the heart of Hades. There are none. I squeeze the steering wheel, gritting my teeth. Doesn't matter. I'm not leaving without her. Ahead, the roadway is splitting into jagged, broken chunks, like a tree trunk splintered by a lightning strike. If I make the wrong move, I'll find myself steering over empty sky. I know the second I stomp the pedal that my ride can't accelerate fast enough to make it across the widening gap. I twist the wheel like Ahab chasing his whale, turning just short of the edge. I narrowly avoid grounding myself, but my ride's engulfed in a sparking cloud of Aether discharge that sizzles through the air filters and pulls hacking coughs from both me and my engine. Ahead, the shattered remains of a hotel churn in a spinning funnel of gravitational force, forming a devilish whirlwind of steel, brick, and glass that could rip my car to pieces. Long evenings of my youth misspent in vacant lots instantly pay off as I jam the brake, throw the alt lever, and pitch suddenly downward in a desperate smuggler's gambit I learned as a teenager. The Crazy Eight spins me away from a truck-sized chunk of brick wall, and I'm through and clear, though I have to tamp down my rising stomach. If Zio knew I'd pulled a stunt like that, he'd have grounded me for a month. There's no calm in the eye of this storm. Gravity forces play havoc with the air itself, ripping bands of static electricity across my path like miniature arcs of lightning. At long last, two figures resolve in the maelstrom. Nellie's body is rigid with confused frustration, her platinum curls buffeted by the Aether winds as she tries in vain to rouse her mechanical creation. Next to her, a beast dressed as a kindly old professor is entreating her to leave. At the sight of him, I feel a jab of hot fury punch through my forehead like a railroad spike.
Oh, I don't understand. Daisy, what's wrong with you?
I'm afraid we're out of time, my dear. Let's get to safety.
Hey!
Their shock at seeing another human being in the midst of the chaos is matched only by the anger sprinting through my veins like frothing coursers on the hunt.
Gia? What are you doing here?
Get away from him!
There's no time! We have to get clear!
I don't want to speak with you right now, Gia. I'm busy.
This grease spot lied to all of us about the bombing at the Institute. He looked me in the eye and lied to me. He was the one who lit the fuse.
That's a lie!
Dufresne took his orders from Gardner, Nellie. He always did.
I'd never even heard the name until I met you!
Your machine isn't working because he's been sabotaging it.
She's a criminal, Eleanor! We can't listen to her!
I brandish the file folder like a prosecutor making her final damning accusation to the jury.
The proof's all here, kid. Have a look at your precious mentor's ring while you're at it.
Nellie takes the folder, pinning its pages down against the gusting winds. We both watch Gardner hide his hand behind his back as he sputters an indignant retort.
Honestly, are we finished with these theatrics? We don't have time to entertain your flights of fancy, Miss Randazzo.
Nellie scans the evidence, dropping loose paper to flutter off like dead leaves. The well howls around us, echoing Gardner's impatience as he tries to snatch the files from Nellie's hands. She swerves away from him, and he shouts in anger.
It's a forgery! My dear, don't you see? She's not your friend. She's tried to trick you.
Professor? Show me your ring, please.
Eleanor, listen to me. We need to get somewhere safe. If you would...
Show me your ring!
I'm watching the foundation of a family crumble before my eyes. Hell, I'm taking a hammer to it myself. I know better than to step between them. I trust Nellie to handle it. She's earned that from me. An agonizing moment passes between Nellie and the wolf named Gardner. She seems to plead silently, desperate to see a meager fleck of humanity in his darkening eyes. But she can't find one.
If we don't activate Daisy, the well will destroy the lowers. Innocent people will die.
And I'll scrape the filth off the bottom of New York's shoe. And I'll be celebrated for it.
I can't believe this. Professor, please. There must be some mistake. You couldn't have been lying to me all this time.
I was. Every word, every moment. My designs are far beyond your understanding. For such a smart girl, you're actually quite stupid. There are mechanisms at work here you'll never comprehend.
A line of quicksilver traces through the air as the man-shaped beast whips out an elegant blade from inside his dowdy old cane, like a gleaming fang unfurling out of a cobra's maw. He aims its trembling tip at the base of Nellie's throat, his signet ring glinting in her eyes. I see her pulse leaping in her neck as a teardrop traces her jawline. His voice is softer than a wisp of smoke curled off burning paper.
I'm so sorry, my dear. You were a real prodigy. You had such promise. This isn't how I wanted it to go.
Before I can move, before Nellie can scream, his arms stiffen, and he shoves her bodily off the ledge and into the wide, storm-shaken sky. I throw myself after Nellie, watching her fingers tighten around a spar of broken metal. Gardner escaped in the truck somewhere behind me. Doesn't matter now. The fluttering white form of my friend dangles off the edge of the world, a sweet porcelain doll about to tumble down a rabbit hole into the dark. She's out of reach, and her grip is weakening. The wind rips tears from my eyes, the gale screaming like a chorus of banshees around us. I make one wrong move, and it's over. But I don't care what happens to me anymore. I search my whole scummy life for a solution. Surely all my experience, everything I've been through, should have prepared me for this. If I don't have the brass for this, Zio, what good was any of it? I snatch the busted, bent-up wheel of a bicycle from the ground and tear its airless rubber tire free. Hooking it around a street sign, I use the elastic lifeline to lean far enough over the lip to reach Nellie. The moment my hand makes contact with her wrist, I pull like I'm throwing the lever that opens the pearly gates. After a moment of frantic, scrambled recovery, we fall back in a heap, and she's safe next to me. In the sudden quiet, Nellie flings herself at me like a lost chick reunited with its mother hen, her little peeping sobs of terror and relief muffled by my coat. My cheeks are wet as I squeeze her to me.
I'm sorry. I should have trusted you. You said such nasty things. I didn't mean it, Gia. I promise I didn't, not a single word. I'm so sorry.
Hey, it's me who should apologize. I acted like a heel. I'm sorry, Nellie. I'm just glad you're okay.
You came back for me. You're a true friend. You never ever lied to me. Not like him. Oh, I could kill him!
First, we gotta stop him, Principessa. Then you can do whatever you want. The truck carrying Daisy isn't built for speed, and we catch up soon enough. I thumb the switch on my forward turrets, but Nellie puts a hand on my arm.
No, we have to activate Daisy. It's the only way to stop all this.
Right. But I don't think Gardner will let us do that. Not without a fight.
Best to head home now, girls! You're out of time!
Oh, applesauce! Look what you done to my fenders!
You never should have taken the job, Giovanna!
Cheese and crackers! Not my automobile! My insurance don't cover this kind of monkey business! Paying off this heap!
do this to me, Professor.
It's not about you, you silly child. It never has been. This is futile! You must see that! Keep them off me at all costs! Understand? Take them, now! You let your uncle die, and now you're going to get Nellie killed!
in Aether.
Could be all she wrote. Give it up, Gardner.
I won't let you do this!
You can't stop it now. No one can. Mars is beyond saving. You're risking your life for nothing.
My insurance don't cover this kind of monkey business.
No! It needs to burn!
It's over, pal.
No! Damn you, no!
The beast gardener dangles off the edge of the world, fingers scrabbling at the broken asphalt. Fear pours off his coat like a noxious fume, rank as a line of soldiers.
Please! Eleanor, help me!
Murderer! You killed my friends! You lied to me! You're the worst person I've ever met! You pisshead! You bastard!
She seems even more surprised than me at the curses jumping from her lips. But then she juts her chin, seeming to conclude if ever such a wanton lapse of politeness was justified, it is now.
I'm slipping! I can't hold on!
Nellie turns to me. There's no trace left of the lost little bird I met that day in the uppers. She looks at me, reborn from the ash of betrayal and strife. No more a child seeking permission, but an equal asking my counsel. Don't make this a moment you regret.
Okay.
Nellie reaches for her mentor to help him up. Gardner reaches back, hooking his claws into the fabric of her blouse, yanking her towards him, towards the open sky below.
You ruined it!
Nellie! She strikes Gardner's snout with the base of her palm, where he used to wear a kindly face. He gurgles as his grip releases, freeing her to fall back onto the road, and he slips silently out of sight. Nellie quickly identifies the poisoned thorn Gardner hid inside Daisy, an innocuous switch strangling the device from within. She shakes her head at the plain, simple boldness of it, and flips the switch. Nellie takes my hand as the well collapses before our widening eyes.
It worked!
Quiet, for what seems like the first time in years, descends over New York City. I look at my friend and wink. Never doubted you for a second, Principessa. When the well's haunting shroud was lifted, the countless barons of New York felt fear where others experienced relief. The underground was a new rising storm, seemingly more insatiable than the last. Apollo Diamond, the Hollywood revolutionary who toppled barons, now spoke of peace in memory of his late ally, hoping his newfound fame could buy a corner of the city free from a baron's tyranny. In the bustling aftermath, one voice remained loud as ever. Our cub reporter kept digging scoops out of the darkest corners of the city, shining lights on the scattering roaches of extortion and greed. Along with his trusty bat and camera, Benny carried an undeterred obsession with focus, Cressa's parting gift as she sent the boy out into the world to fight corruption. He broadcast the hidden truths he found across stolen airwaves, rallying the public from some hidden cellar to rise up, to fight. And at the call of the voice of the underground, they did. While the people made noise, one corner of the city remained quiet, rebuilding after the well nearly tore it apart. This new nation's crusade, however, shut its borders, closing itself off to the world. But rumors trickled out of a saint who lives there, who rescued the people from the powers of the well, who dreams of building a new kingdom of heaven amongst the wreckage of New York City. Marm was gone, exiled. The old dragon had slunk away into some northern cave with the remains of her horde, and nothing to occupy her time other than messages from home about her fading legacy. The papers cried the end of Dreamland, but in the absence of the Great Queen, her daughters fought not each other, but the decay and decadence that had allowed the barony to rot. It had been Marco's dream to lead the Union in Dreamland, not Luca's. And with the darkness of his brother's death waning from his heart, he remembered what had always been most important: Diane. He passed on the torch of leading the Ledgemen, and then, on the same day, hung up his gloves on the wall in Congress Hall to remind himself of the journey he took to finally find peace. Sophie had given up any claim at becoming a Baron, but she hadn't given up on Dreamland. The Does still needed to be held in check, communities rebuilt, and the people given hope. Winnie trailed after her, hollow eyes giving way to a sweet and confident smile. The two rarely parted, and before long, the mousy girl from the gutter was giving soapbox speeches right up there next to Soph. In White Street, the death of General Eli did not bring the peace so many had hoped for. Instead, cliques of officers bound in subservience for decades now saw their chance to seize control. From the ashes of civil war, Lutzko's old guard claimed victory and a new mandate: peace. For the first time in years, infrastructure was rebuilt and wasting outbreaks were squashed. There was hope. I had expected to find Cress elbow deep in some machine with the news coming out of White Street, but instead, I found her alone, listening to an old record and packing her bag. She was leaving. The underground needed her, and she was done carrying the guilt of those who had been killed. People will die again, but better to fight and fail for a better world than stand by safely and watch it burn. I'd stay up at night sometimes, listening to the broadcast as a barony somewhere in the city dealt with an unknown rebel uprising. I hoped she was safe, and that she'd truly forgiven herself. The world had changed. 3 barons brought low, the well gone, red Aether on the streets. But what really kept me awake at night was the sound of a cocked hammer humming against my skull. To this day, there's not a crowded street or empty alleyway that isn't haunted by specters of a black hat. I still wonder if those glimpses are my mind playing tricks, or if death finally made a ghost of the hanged man. But the disappearance of Tobias Dufresne could have also been summed up by the anger of his prior employer, the Trust, whose tendrils in this city spread like some invisible chthonic evil. The death of Alistair Gardner only left me with more questions. Who are they really? Why did they want war in the Lowers? To destroy it? And what are their plans now that their pawns had been removed from the board? Nellie couldn't stand the thought of leaving us to safeguard the Lowers all by ourselves, The kid just had to stick around. Apparently, we were in dire need of a genius. Before long, we had to expand her lab to accommodate a growing list of projects for total strangers. Whether for water, food, medicine, the good doctor couldn't turn a soul away, and one by one, she made the lowers brighter. There's this little comic shop down in Four Fingers, always had what's new. So, when the clerk handed me that month's special, I couldn't help but laugh at Zio's hat and my 7-shooter gracing the cover. I still don't know how that squeaky comic writer found me, but apparently he'd been my shadow since the well, tracking every hopeless and sob-story job I'd taken. Called me Robin Hood with a gun. Question after question, he grilled me. Why did a smuggler work for free? Or help Aetherians and nobodies? Why did she stay in the lowers? Before I drove away, I told him straight. Someone had to play the hero.